What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video, back with Mock Draft Monday and the Mock Draft Monday competition. So like every mock draft for the past month, basically, you guys decide who is the best team at the end of this draft, and that person's going to get a spot in the subscriber league. We've got 3 people already. I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but I have them written down, so don't worry. I have actually been keeping track of these things. It's up to you. So write in the comment section what your favorite team is. Maybe give a justification. You don't have to just write a team. We like getting discussions going down there. So why do you think they had the best team? It's not always whose team at the end, I guess, was the best. Sometimes maybe the best team was who was put in a difficult position, ended up with a really good team. So we're going to draft here and then actually have something I'm going to talk about after our pick before we get to the next one that I noticed was a common theme in the last mock draft that I do want to talk about because it's actually pretty important. So Zeke, Kamara, McCaffrey, Barkley, David Johnson, same 5 as normal. Then Adams, Melvin Gordon, DeAndre Hopkins, James Conner, Michael Thomas. Okay, so for running backs, our options: Le'Veon Bell, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, Gurley, Chubb, Williams. It's really the only people you could possibly consider there. And then we got Julio, Odell, Juju. That's really all you consider at that spot. And then, of course, we still have Travis Kelce. So, not going Bell. Mixon, Cook, Gurley, Chubb, Williams, all pretty similar, but I would like to get 2 of them if I could. You know what? I did a mock draft a little while back where I think I took 2 wide receivers at this spot. And I kind of want to see how my team looks when I take 2 running backs. So I'm going to take Damian. Nope. I'm going to take him, not put him on the watch list. I'm going to take Damian Williams and just make sure that Grills here doesn't take him because I'm pretty much cool with Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, or Nick Chubb with this pick. I don't really care which one I get, and so since I'm guaranteed one of them, I'll just take whichever one is left. I would consider Odell though. So if I have Odell, I believe I have Odell ahead of Juju and definitely ahead of Juju, and I believe I have him ahead of Julio after that video I made comparing the 2 of them. I hope he shows up. Oh, he just came at the end. But what would I do? So remember I made the video about how if it's even close, we should be targeting running backs early because there are so many wide receivers late, and I kind of want to put that to the test here. Like, we never reached to do these strategies, but I want to put that to the test to show, hey, I can draft a bunch of running backs early and maybe tight ends early and just forego the wide receiver position. How good is my team at the end? So we actually get to pick between whichever back we want the most. It's between Joe Mixon and Dalvin Cook. What would I do if this was my league? I would probably, to be honest, take Dalvin Cook. Just because they're both guaranteed to be the guys. Neither of them are going to get passed. But if I had to say which offense do I have more faith in, I think I do have more faith that the Vikings offense could have an elite season. Like in the second season with Kirk Cousins, we thought they were going to be better than they were last year. Would it shock anyone if the Bengals were bad again this year? Probably not. Would it shock you? I don't think it's going to happen. Would it shock you if they're bad? No, it wouldn't shock me. I'd be pretty surprised if the Vikings were bad. I think they take a step forward this season, so I think they're going to be pretty good. But anyways, we have time for my next pick, and a common theme in the last one was when I took Andrew Luck, and I always say you should be drafting quarterbacks late. I mean, pretty much in any league that I actually draft in, I want to be taking a quarterback in the 12th round or later. That's just my strategy. It's what I believe works the best. But then I almost took Mahomes. I said I would have taken Mahomes, but I took Andrew Luck. And people are like, well, what do you mean? You said, wait. Under normal circumstances, in your hometown leagues, the best strategy is to wait because your hometown leagues typically don't all follow me. But everyone here I know is following our videos, and they follow our advice. And we say take quarterback late. So everyone in this draft is going to take quarterback late. You got to know your league. If you know your league and it's similar to this, well, then maybe it's a different strategy that I'm going to talk about in a second. But typically, take them late. However, since everyone is waiting in this league and I'm able to get Andrew Luck, I don't remember what round it was, but I believe it was like the 7th round or something. I think Mahomes went like the 6th. I might be getting that one round off. But they were definitely going at least a round or two later than they should have. And it got to the point where my whole roster is filled up. I've got my running backs, I've got my wide receivers, I've got my flex, I've got my tight end, I got everything that I want. Well, at this point, what's the difference between having Andrew Luck and just waiting around to get another wide receiver? There wasn't much of a gap between the wide receiver running back I would have taken at that spot and the one I ended up with by taking Luck. If you do take Mahomes in the 3rd round, well, I don't like that because then the gap's pretty big between the running back you could get and the running back you will get in like the 12th, 13th. But when the first 4, 5, 6 rounds, no one's taking a quarterback, that value gets a lot less. And so now I filled out my whole roster and I have an elite quarterback. Because before, I'm taking what I think can be an elite quarterback, but I'm sacrificing that potential upside to fill out my whole roster. In that scenario, my whole roster was filled out. Like my whole roster, my running backs, my wide receivers, my flex, my tight end, like everything was good to go. Why not spend a pick on who could easily finish as the number 1? I mean, I still think Mahomes will finish number 1, but would it shock you if Andrew Luck finishes the number 1 quarterback? So gaining that with already the rest of your roster filled out is an advantage. So you've got to know your league. If everyone's waiting, well, now there's value created where there usually isn't. But I say wait because that'll almost never happen in your hometown leagues. You're going to be in situations where people are just drafting Mahomes in the 2nd and then Luck in the 3rd and then Rodgers in the 4th, and you're like, whoa, easy, I'm going to take the value. That's typically what I suggest and what happens more often than not. I was hoping Derrick Henry would fall a little bit later, but you're usually not going to get him in the back half there. I am hoping, honestly, to get Devonta Freeman with this pick, but I would consider Josh Jacobs. I was kind of hoping we could start off, get Freeman here, and then maybe get one of Josh Jacobs or David Montgomery at the next pick, because that's where I see, there goes Freeman, that's where I see the drop-off. Since that didn't happen, I will consider using one of these for a wide receiver. So it would be Diggs. I have Diggs the highest, and Diggs actually does, I believe, finish a tier, although it's possible that Cooks and Golladay are also in that tier. So you've got Diggs, Cooks, Golladay are the 3 wide receivers I'd want. I'm guaranteed one of them with my next pick, so I can take whichever running back I want in this pick. Jacobs or David Montgomery? Well, we know, like I've said a few times, the draft capital and just the amount that organization has spent acquiring Josh Jacobs, they're going to use him. So he's going to get all the opportunity in the world. I don't love getting him in the 3rd, but realistically, I have my choice between... Oh, goodness. All right, I almost screwed up there. I had my choice between him and Montgomery. You could probably go either way, but there's a little bit more risk in taking Montgomery because Cohen is going to be in a lot of 3rd downs. Like, they might use a lot of 2-back sets or use Cohen in the slot, but there's a little bit more risk with him because we aren't as sure. Like, we are 100% positive that Josh Jacobs is going to get goal line work. He's going to get 3rd down work. He's just going to be on the field as much as possible. So it doesn't matter all that much how good he is. Like, he's still good. Like, I'm not saying he's bad, but I don't think he's an elite running back, but it doesn't really matter because the opportunity matters more than anything. But looking at the rest of the running backs, if there was someone else that we really liked, like I said, if I taken Freeman there, maybe I'd have gone Jacobs or Montgomery at the next pick. But it's a little bit of that, you don't want to take too much of a position unless it's a value at every spot. And it's definitely not a value anymore. Like, I like Drake, but no one else is a value at this pick. So we don't need to go heavy on running back at all here. I could take 4th round getting one of the tight ends. Like, I don't love Kittle or Ertz in their typical value, but they typically go in the 3rd round. But Diggs is still on the board. So our option is Diggs, or we take one of the tight ends. Interesting. Let's go. Yeah. Let's try it out. I haven't done a draft yet where I take... This is good value for Kittle. Like I just said, I mean, they're typically not going this late. So I'll take Kittle in an offense that because I do have him at tight end 2 ahead of Ertz. And I have the gap between Ertz and Howard. I actually have Howard projected higher, but I have the gap between Ertz and Howard very close, and I have Kittle closer to Kelsey. I love that offense. I mean, are they going to be like a top 3, top 5 offense? No, obviously not. But I just love what Shanahan's doing with that team, and I think he's just an absolutely fantastic coach. And I see big things. I mean, assuming that Garoppolo comes back and he's like, at least, maybe not in like the first 3 weeks of the season. Maybe it takes a little bit to get going because he did, it's been early in his career and he did suffer the ACL. So there are a few things going against him. But I think this offense is really going to pick up towards the middle and back half of the season. And I think they're going to score some points. And I think that Kittle's a really good tight end, obviously. So yeah, I like gaining that weekly advantage in a 12-team league. So we've got Damian Williams, Dalvin Cook, George Kittle, Josh Jacobs. I always say safety in the first 4 rounds, and that's incredible safety. I know that the only possible way that these guys will bust is injuries. And since injuries are extremely difficult to predict, you can say someone has an elevated risk, but realistically, they're extremely difficult to predict. You basically can't predict them. I am 100% confident that none of these players will bust unless an injury happens. And that's what I want in the first 4 rounds. Once we hit the 5th, that's where I start being like, hey, I'll take some upside. I don't really care. If there's another path to you busting that's not injury, I don't care. I'll go after you because I'm shooting for upside once we hit the 5th round. Kind of tough to say right now what our options will be at that spot. Obviously, Mahomes got taken, so the only quarterback we'd be looking at would be Andrew Luck. But I don't think I would take him. I could take him in that 6th pick, but I don't think I would. We'll take a gander at what running backs might be available. So we don't want Ingram, Lindsey, Coleman, Carson. I think I said Coleman up there. Who did I say this? I think Michelle. I don't know why I said Coleman instead of Michelle. Ingram, Lindsey, Michelle, Carson. I'm not pumped about any of those picks. Coleman I like. Cohen and White are fine. This is a half-point league, so they're not like incredible, but they're still fine to take. Kind of banking on upside for touchdowns in that case. Miller's fine. We like Darrell Henderson. Geis, Penny we really like. Latavius Murray, Miles Sanders. But some of those last guys, I don't know if I love them in the 5th round. So we are looking at wide receiver, even though we said we can wait. I mean, it's the 5th round. We've waited. Definitely like Lockett. He won't be there. DJ Moore would be really nice to get at that pick. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, okay. In my dream world, we get DJ Moore and Christian Kirk with these 2 picks. I think that'll happen in your guys' leagues. I don't think it'll happen here. I don't think someone... I just want to say something real quick. Look at all the blue. Hold up. Scroll. All right. There we go. Look at this whole section of blue. These 3 people love their... I hope he takes a wide receiver. Oh, come on. We could have created a whole little square there. That's incredible. There's so many... It's like the left half of the screen likes their wide receivers, and the right half likes their running backs, and the middle is just like, whatever, man. I'm going to take whatever I feel like taking. I don't know. It's just interesting. I looked over there and I saw that blue. But anyways, I was saying words. Oh, yeah. Wait, did Kirk already get taken? No. Okay. I just didn't see him on the screen. There he is. Yeah. I would love DJ Moore and Christian Kirk with this 5-6, and I think it can happen in your leagues. I don't think it'll happen here. I think someone will end up taking them. If someone does take them, I like Pettis, but I would typically stay away from drafting 2 pass catchers from a team. You kind of cap your weekly upside. It's cool if you've got... Who are 2 pass catchers? I mean, you could do Julio Ridley. You could do Evans Godwin. It's just less than ideal. Like, if there's ever a situation where that comes up and you're like, can I do it this way? If there's someone else that's even, like, remotely close, take that other person because typically it's not ideal. It's fine to take running back, wide receiver. Like, I wouldn't think twice about taking Damian Williams and like Kelsey or Tyreek Hill. I wouldn't care if I took Aaron Jones and Devonta Adams or like Freeman and Julio. That's fine. That can happen. But I don't want to take 2 wide receiver tight ends. So I hope that made sense. I actually get that question a lot, so I wanted to clear that up. It's not something you need to avoid. Like, if you're sitting here and legitimately Pettis was the only person you're even okay with at that pick, well, no, I'm not reaching super far for someone I don't even want just so that I avoid getting 2 pass catchers, because typically when you have a decision like this, it's on a good team. So you're taking 2 pass catchers on a lead offense. But yeah, that's fine to do as long as, again, you're not reaching and there's not someone that's really close, because your entire team should be filled with people. Gosh darn it, there goes more. Your entire team should be filled with people you want, right? Like, you should never be sitting there looking at our draft package and being like, well, he says to take this person, but I just don't like them. Well, then don't draft them. Like, don't. There's plenty of people we list in the draft package and then I talk about in these videos. I mean, I've given you guys many options at every single one of these picks of players that I like. So don't just look at our rankings and be like, well, Nick said take them, so I have to take them even though I don't like them. No, if you don't like them, don't take them. You always want to take people you like. Good. Okay, so he took Mike Williams. We're going to get Christian Kirk. I've, like, been playing in my head, do I want to, like, risk not getting Kirk here and waiting till the 6th? I'm just wondering, like, who would I take to take that risk, right? Because, like, I don't really care about these running backs. I got running back good. I got tight end good. So I am taking 2 wide receivers here, and I want one of them to be Kirk. Do I really care who the other one is? I mean, kind of. Like, I kind of want that other person to be Alshon. I'm afraid, though, this man only has Odell, so he's going to be taking a wide receiver here. Yeah, no, I got to take my boy. Like, I love that offense too much to not get Christian Kirk. And I'm actually reading a good book right now about, like, the origins of the passing game in the NFL. I think it's called The Perfect Pass. Of course, I'm reading it on Audible, who does not sponsor this what is this? A video. Does not sponsor this video. I just like Audible because I hate reading, so I need to listen to stuff while I work out or run or something like that. But I'm listening to the book, and it's really good. I like it, but it hasn't gotten to the current part yet. I think I'm still in, like, the 1980s or something like that. But anyways, this offense is going to be awesome, and they're going to throw a bunch, so I want Kirk. He did take Alshon, which is unfortunate, but we can still grab... If I didn't draft Kittle, I'd be taking Pettis here, but I'm not going to do it. I think I'm going to grab Robbie Anderson or Sterling Shepard, unless I see someone down here. 6 rounds too early for some of those other guys. You know, I really like them. I hope I get them on the next time around. But I'll take... why do I keep doing that? I keep, like, missing and hitting the thing. I will take Robbie Anderson because I like Robbie Anderson, and I think the Jets offense is going to surprise people this season. Not because of Bell or anything, just because I think Sam Darnold's a good quarterback, and once he came back finally healthy after his injury, I thought that they looked... I mean, they didn't look elite. Like, I'm not saying they're elite, but they looked good. And Robbie Anderson, in my opinion, is the clear outside deep threat. They brought in Crowder and I guess Enunwa, I believe, was injured to end last season. But, like, both of them are going to be in use. It's just that I think Robbie Anderson's role is more conducive of fantasy points. Like, yeah, Crowder is going to be used in that slot role. I just don't know how many fantasy points he's going to get versus Robbie Anderson's going to get more of those air yards, more of those long touchdowns that I would prefer in fantasy instead of, you know, the 7-yard receptions. But he is actually solid. I don't think anyone's really talking about Crowder. I haven't heard any news about Crowder at all. But I like Robbie Anderson. I think he's a good wide receiver. So I think he's a good pick in that range. But you could have gone Allen Robinson. You could have gone Will Fuller if you wanted to. And you could have gone Sterling Shepard as well. I was kind of thinking about that one. But hopefully with our next pick, maybe we could get, like, we're not going to get Shepard, but maybe we could get ideally MVS and Samuel. That'd be nice. Like, if we could get MVS and Samuel in like the next 2 rounds, like our wide receivers, I'd actually feel solid about. And since we went heavy on running back and tight end, like I'd feel really good about the start of the draft. This looks like it's going to work out, guys. I think as long as I don't get sniped again right before getting a player I want, we're going to get Sterling Shepard, and then we're probably going to be able to pair it with another wide receiver that we like. I mean, I don't like love these guys, but I don't have to start any of them. And actually, like Sterling Shepard is kind of growing on me as the season's the off season I guess is progressing. They got to throw to someone, and I believe he was their second most targeted receiver or human in the red zone, and then he was the most targeted when Odell went down. Like he could easily finish with 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, and I think he's going a little bit too late. The thing is, I say a little bit too late, but like I don't really know if you can move him ahead of any of these people. Nice, took Royce. So we are going to take Sterling Shepard. The next one, I don't really know though. Like I cool with Marvin Jones. I like Larry Fitz, but like I already have Kirk, so I'm not gonna take both of them. I like Sutton, so Sutton we can consider. You guys know, like I don't even know what to do with Corey Davis. Like, I don't think he's a great pick, but it does come with upside there. But really, it's MVS or Sutton for me. My rankings, I believe, have MVS, but they're like, I think they're right next to each other. Like Sutton's role is the number one. We know that for sure. So I guess technically we don't know 100% what MVS's role is, and he's not the one. But the thing is, Sutton's the one for a not so good quarterback. Well, I guess my decision is easy because MVS got taken. Well, I was gonna say, I'll just take him. But do I want Curtis Samuel? Because I know both of them are gone by the next pick, right? I mean, there's no way Samuel is still available. All right, let's think this out. So Sutton's the one. It's a terrible quarterback. He's deep, and people think Flacco's good deep, but he's not. But he's the one, and he's locked into the one. He's a really good wide receiver, and they spent a lot of draft capital on him. But Samuel's also a really good receiver, and his role is also locked in, and I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna take Sutton and just hope that Samuel's there at the next pick, because then, like, having Kirk, Anderson, Shepard, Sutton, Samuel, I believe I said those all right. Having that as my 5, like, I'm good. I can go back to picking running backs and my like quarterback and everything, and feel really good about my wide receivers. So that's why it is a viable strategy. It is genuinely like, and that's the thing. It's anywhere. Like I say, it's a viable strategy where I was picking at 11. You could do RB0 just as easily at 11, right? Like I could have taken Odell with the first pick and Julio with the next pick. I love that start as well. So saying that one strategy is the strategy, no, absolutely not. Because I'd still love my draft if I started Odell and then Julio. Like I think that's an epic start. You know, the thing is, I love Damian Williams. I love Dalvin Cook. I love Joe Mixon. So, and since running backs are 1 more valuable, 2, there are less of them later in the drafts. I guess it does feel a lot more viable. Just hammering out, 3 running backs in your first 4 picks. You don't have to take Kittle like I did. Like you could have taken, went this way, this way, this way. You could have taken Galladay or Diggs or Cooks with that pick. And then I actually really would have liked that value of O.J. Howard in the 5th. But it just leaves you so much flexibility grabbing those running backs here, because very rarely do I get into this range and I'm like, yes, I got the running back I wanted, a huge value. Like you just don't get running back values at this range. And so just locking up 3 guys I love, locking up a tight end I love, getting some wide receivers I feel really good about, I do think that is the best strategy this season. And like I said, it can come at any position. I could have done that at 12. I could have obviously done that with a top 5 pick, seeing how you're getting a stud running back. Maybe it's less viable with the top 5 pick. Like if a top 2 pick, let's say I'm DLC over here, and I take Zeke. Like my next option would have been Marlon Mack at that next pick. And so you take... He could have started off Marlon Mack, and then he would have probably had to reach on a running back. So maybe... Yeah, for him, he could have done like Zeke, Marlon Mack, Antonio Brown, or like just whatever combo you wanted there. And then gone with his running backs. I guess it's slightly less viable because I do actually see that the drop off. So you get the top 5, and then you get Melvin Gordon is like that 6, because I mean I think he gets a contract, but assuming he gets a contract, he's that 6 option, and then this whole range of Connor, Williams, Gurley, Cook, Mixon, Bell, Chubb. That's where I think it stops. That's all available in that 7. If you're the 7 pick to your next pick, that's all available there. So realistically, if you want to grab 2 of those running backs with any of those picks, you can do it. And I'm pretty much cool with any combination of those running backs. And then when your next pick comes around, all these wide receivers go, and then you've still got this like end of the second tier of running back to choose from. So what's the best spot to pick from? I mean, I don't know. It depends on your league settings and everything. But I do feel comfortable in this like 9, 10, 11, 12 range. I'm cool with 5 because there's a chance you can get, you get one of the top 5. You basically get David Johnson, and then you're getting your pick of any elite wide receiver. You might get 2 elite wide receivers. You might get Marlon Mack on the next one. You can pair him with Jones. Like, there's a lot of options you can do at 5. So 5, 9 through 12. That's my answer if you guys are picking spots for your draft, what I would prefer, I guess. Let's take a look at some teams, though. So I kind of looked at DLC's team. I do like his start. Getting Zeke, getting 2 really good wide receivers. I don't love his running backs. Like I don't love Eckler. I mean, he's like fine, but when are you going to start him on a championship team? Like probably never. Like Coleman, I don't love Carson. I don't love Sonny Michel. Love Hunter Henry. That's good value in the 7th round he got there. Team's solid. I don't know. It's a good team. Press has a nice team because he gets Luck, which I do think is like a good pick. He just picked Njoku, which I actually sign off on there as well. He locked in Alvin Kamara, so in that he's got that good running back. He's locked in on wide receivers. Got a good quarterback. Running back depth is a little iffy, I guess, behind Alvin Kamara, so we'll have to shore that up in the later rounds. Is there a team I really like? I do really like ADV. I like his start. Hopkins, Julio is a nice combination to have, but I like Carrion and Drake. I guess it's a little iffy at running back. Are there any teams that got some really nice running backs? I guess Jar. I think it's Jar Evolves on Twitter if you want to follow him. I like his start, like Melvin, Chubb, Amari, Diggs. Love it. Not a Mark Ingram fan, not a Tyler Boyd fan, not a Darius Geist fan. Not sure I love Nikhil Harry in the 8th, but I love his first 4. Perfect. Love it. I don't know about the rest. Grills is solid. Grills is solid too. Yeah, that's a good team. Like he's got Odell, Alshon, MVS, and then Gurley has the upside. I like David Montgomery. He's locked in at the top overall tight end or the top overall quarterback and a tight end I love. So definite upside. And he took Ronald Jones, which I don't even know at this point. I have no idea what's happening there. We just need camp, guys. We need camp to start. We need preseason to start. I need to know if some of these takes like that I hear from beat reporters in like May, June, July, I need to know if any of them are reasonable. But it's upon us. Camp is finally about to start, like real camp, not the OTAs and everything. And when's the first preseason game? What would that be, like the 2nd week of August? Something like that? But it's almost our turn, and we are not prepared, of course. So, I don't know what to think of Metcalf. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't know what to think of Metcalf because everyone seems to hate him. He's going pretty late in drafts, and realistically, I mean, he's there too. Like, I know we talked about the chance that Moore, I believe his name was, Moore could pick up the slack if, like, he's not that great. They're going to give him every opportunity to succeed. I know it's a low-volume passing offense, but the upside there is incredible. So I don't hate DK Metcalf at all. I like D.D. Westbrook. I believe he's the best wide receiver in that team right now. Marquise Lee, I think, is their one if I signed off on that pick for Metcalf. I believe Marquise Lee is their one if he's healthy, but honestly, it's not looking like he's going to be healthy to start. So DD's a good pick. You guys know I don't like Tate or Washington. Sanders, I just need to see it on the field. You guys know I like Moncrief. I like Miller, but I don't know if we're going to take them next. We could take a running back here, though. We should probably take a running back here now that they're like all kind of starting to go away. Someone took, Damian Harris in the 8th. My goodness, guys. I don't know why they're on my watch list because like I didn't click them to be on my watch list. I mean, Justice Hill is like the only guy I see right now that I like, so I should honestly probably just take him. I should just make sure I get Justice Hill there, because like I'm gonna shoot for upside with some of these running backs, but like I said, it gets gross at the running back position. I will target Duke Johnson. I'm actually kind of concerned, like why these people are on watch. I didn't click them, I promise. But we are going to put Duke on the watch because, I mean, he's either going to be the third down back. I took Moncrief. Okay. The third down back on a good offense, or he's going to get traded to a team that wants him. Like, that's just my take on him. And he took Miller? Dude. Okay. Focus. So we're probably going to take DD, right? I still haven't gotten my take between Funchess and Campbell. I need to see what's going to happen in camp. I like Goodwin there. I mean, there's still people I like, but I think DD's kind of in a class of his own there. And that kind of makes us good with wide receiver, right? Like we're at Kirk, Anderson, Shepard, Sutton, DD. I don't think I need to start the season with any more wide receivers. So the next 2 pick will be running back. I would like to get Duke Johnson in there. If there was a player I was talking about, like I forget who it was. Oh yeah, no, Funchess and Campbell. So the Colts are a smart team. They're one of the teams I sign off on making very good decisions. And last season they were in 12. I believe it was 12 personnel a lot, and then Doyle gets hurt. And so a smart team adjusts like they did. And then they run a lot more 3-wide sets. But assuming Doyle's healthy, because we actually can't even assume that anymore. Like Ebron's stock's going up a little bit because I haven't seen great news from Doyle's camp. But assuming he's healthy, they're going to go back to running 12 personnel, which is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, which leaves 2 more options, which is going to be your 2 wide receivers. And you know the one of them is T.Y. Hilton. So then it's, okay, who's the other one? Like, if Paris Campbell is that other wide receiver, I want Paris Campbell where he's going in drafts. But if Funchess is the other wide receiver, I want Funchess where he's going in drafts. So I haven't heard anything. I mean, I guess there are reports that Funchess is the 2, but there are also reports that they really want to use Campbell. So I don't know what to do. Like, so I need to see preseason because again, we learned so much in preseason. I know everyone wants to write it off, but we learned so much. You know, we can hear in camp that this guy's getting all the first team reps, but when we see in preseason the first team go out there for as little as it is, it's not going to be much. We're going to see, oh, look, there's the first team. There's 12 personnel. These are the 2 guys they have in the field. Boom. We've learned something. That could be 1 snap. I don't care. We've learned something. And it could be wrong, but typically it's not. Typically you learn what they're planning on doing with the very limited first team snaps they do in the preseason. And they do have some. Like Luck is still going to play in the preseason at least a little bit. I just hope that like what's going to happen is Hilton is going to like pull his hamstring or something, and then we're not going to see the 2, and then I'm still not going to go to start the season. But realistically, whichever one of them is in those 2 wide receiver sets, that's what I want. So I would have taken whichever one I learn with that pick, probably over D.D. Westbrook. Okay, so I went through and I kind of highlighted the running backs that I would consider with this next 2 picks, or I can take 2. Yeah, I can take 2 running backs, and then I have to pick my quarterback and my defense. So Madison would be our handcuff. Just we took 3 studs. It would be to ensure, okay, if Dalvin goes down, I've still got my 2 studs, and then Madison's really the only guy they have. I don't think he's great. I don't love doing handcuffs, but that's an option. Braid is an option. If something were to happen to Coleman, then he is a stud this season. Same scenario with Chase Edmonds and Dion Lewis. It's basically if someone goes down, they're a stud. I'm going to take Braid. I know he's coming back from the partially torn pec. I haven't received any news since that's come out. And there will be weeks where he's a healthy scratch. But he was fantastic last season. And like I said, this is an amazing offense. That's an amazing rushing offense as well. And there's absolutely a chance that, like, if Tevin Coleman goes down, you're telling me this guy can't push high-end 2 numbers? Absolutely could. He's an incredible running back. So I'm cool taking him just for the upside. And realistically, that's a pick that when someone is just an incredible steal on free agency in weeks like 1, 2, 3, because that's where all the great picks happen, great pickups on free agency, he's a guy that if it's not panning out, I'm just going to dump. And the next pick, I would prefer Chase Edmonds because he has, I guess, the second most upside of anyone on this list, because if something goes, something happens to David Johnson, he's a running back 1, like not even a high-end 2. He's a running back 1. So I'll take him, and that fills out our bench, so we'll just get rid of Malcolm Brown. My hunch, by the way, with this watch list is that it transfers between drafts. So, like I did the last week's Mock Draft Monday, I think the people I clicked on there when I went back in stay there, I think, which is weird and they should fix. But anywho, so let's look at our team, because all we have left is quarterback and defense, and I don't want to make this too long. So we'll do it on the side here. No, yes, we will. Okay, our starting roster: Damian Williams, Dalvin Cook, Christian Kirk, Robbie Anderson. I don't want to do it that way. Our running backs: Damian Williams, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Justice Hill, Matt Breida, and Chase Edmonds. Like that a lot, and it's really top heavy, which I like because we're trying to win. And ideally, when you win, you want your early picks to pan out, and I really like all those picks. Wide receivers: Kirk, Anderson, Shepard, Sutton, Dede. Really like that as well. And of course, we've got our boy George Kittle at tight end, which I'm typically not a fan of, but in the 4th round, that's not where he's going. He's going in the 3rd round, and it's a good value in the 4th round. Our last pick will be defense, like always, and it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys more than likely. I said that I would look at who people are playing, and the Cowboys start off with the Giants, and then they play Washington. Beautiful start. So if you're looking for someone, because I always stream defense. Defense is not consistent year over year. The Bears are probably going to be really good this year, but realistically, defense is not sticky year over year, and there are always defenses that just bust out. And you want to be playing defenses against turnover-prone and sack-prone teams. Like you have the Bears, but would you like playing them against the Patriots? I mean, ideally not. I don't know if they play this year, but the point is, if you're drafting defense early, you have to play them every week, even when they're playing bad teams. So no, just stream. We'll help you out. I promise. We'll help you out during the year. You're streaming your defense. So take it in the last round, and we are streaming the Cowboys to start this season. There was another one someone pointed out on Twitter, but I don't remember who they were. And then, honestly, our quarterback is going to be between the people it's always between. Dak, Lamar Jackson, Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, Trubisky. It's not going to come to the point, but Stafford and Sam Darnold and Mariota are also on the table. But ideally, we're getting our boy Lamar Jackson, who I am still astonished is not going in the 10th round. He should be going in the 10th round. But I think that's going to do it, because I think right now I'm just going to show everyone's draft. You'll see who I ended up getting at the quarterback, and then you'll hopefully see the Dallas Cowboys as the defense, because I don't think I told people that they have to take defense in here, so I don't know if people will. But again, tell me in the comment section who you believe had the best team and try and say why. Try and actually, like there's obviously a reason why you picked the team that you did. Explain it, because maybe you'll win other people over, and maybe you'll have to think a little more deeply about why you believe the best team is who it is, and that's just going to lead to further betterment of your draft process. Because you just look at these and you're like, I like this team. Boom, you move on, and you don't think why. If you start looking at these teams and you think, why is one the best? Why do I like these players? That's how you make yourself a better drafter. So, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, how about hitting that like button? Or if you're new here, how about subscribing to the channel? But that's the end of this one. Thanks for watching.